Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, tonight we are cracking open the book on one of America's oldest, and I mean truly most chilling ghost stories. This is a tale that really helped shape a kind of uniquely American folklore, and it's been haunting the country's imagination for more than 200 years now. So let's get into it. We're taking a journey to a place that's just shrouded in shadow and superstition, a place called Sleepy Hollow.
You know, our story, it doesn't really start with a person. It starts with a place. Picture this. Nestled in a little cove on the Hudson River, there's this quiet, tucked-away glen just a couple miles from Tarrytown, New York. And this unassuming little valley, well, it's long been known by a name that just perfectly captures its whole vibe: Sleepy Hollow.
But this isn't just any quiet valley. Not at all. The story tells us that it's a place that's kind of under the sway of some witching power. It's like the very air you breathe there infects newcomers, making them more imaginative, causing them to dream dreams and see things. It's the kind of place where local legends and haunted spots are just as common as the trees themselves. And the undisputed commander-in-chief of all these local phantoms? Well, that would be the terrifying figure known around every single country fireside as the Headless Horseman. So the story goes, he's the ghost of a soldier, which is a direct echo of the very recent Revolutionary War, forever galloping through the dark, searching for the head he lost in battle. He's not just a ghost, he is the spirit of this enchanted land.
So, into this supernaturally charged landscape steps our protagonist. And he's not a hero in the way we usually think of one, but as the story calls him, a worthy wight by the name of Ichabod Crane.
So Ichabod is the new schoolmaster, and his lanky, almost scarecrow-like frame is just as memorable as his massive appetite for both food and spooky stories. And here's the thing, he doesn't just enjoy these tales of witchcraft and goblins. Oh no, he firmly, powerfully believes in them. And it's this really unique blend of small-town shrewdness and being super gullible that makes him the absolute perfect soul to wander into a place like Sleepy Hollow.
But of course, Ichabod's path to success is blocked by a pretty formidable adversary. This guy is Abraham Van Brunt, but everybody just calls him Brom Bones. I mean, if Ichabod is the man of letters, Brom is the man of pure action, the burly, roaring local hero. And as you can see, they are total polar opposites in pretty much every way. Except for one, they both have their eyes on the exact same prize, the lovely and very wealthy Katrina Van Tassel.
Yeah, let's be really clear about what's motivating Ichabod here. For him, Katrina represents not just beauty, but a huge fortune. He doesn't just see a wife, he's seeing fat meadowlands, fields of wheat and corn, basically a direct pipeline to Easy Street. And that is a prize that Brom Bones, the lion of the countryside, is just not about to give up to some lanky schoolteacher without a fight.
So, this rivalry is just simmering under the surface, until one fine autumn afternoon, a messenger on a raggedy old horse clatters up to the schoolhouse. And he's got an invitation for Ichabod to attend a quilting frolic, which is basically a huge party, at the Van Tassel farm that very evening.
So Ichabod, he borrows this comically broken-down horse named Gunpowder and shows up just full of hope. The party is this incredible scene of abundance, food everywhere, but his joy is kind of short-lived when he spots his rival, Brom Bones, already there, looking all heroic on his powerful horse, Daredevil. So after some feasting and dancing with Katrina, Ichabod ends up drawn to a circle of old men gossiping on the porch. And this is where his terrifying night truly begins.
The air just gets thick with ghost stories. They're talking about funeral trains, wailing spirits, and of course, the star of all the local legends, the Headless Horseman. And they're all saying he's been especially active lately. Every single one of these tales just sinks deep into Ichabod's highly suggestible mind, basically priming him for the terrors that are waiting for him on his journey home. Okay, so after the party breaks up, Ichabod hangs back for a private chat with Katrina. But something goes wrong. He doesn't leave triumphant. He leaves looking absolutely desolate and heartbroken, and so he starts his journey home in the very witching time of night. All that cheerfulness from the party, totally gone. Now it's replaced by this deep, oppressive gloom. Every little snap of a twig, every moan of the wind through the trees just amplifies his fear. And all those ghost stories from the party, they come rushing back, just playing on his terrified imagination as he gets closer and closer to Wiley's Swamp, a notoriously haunted spot. And then he sees it. Right beside the brook, a monstrous figure is just waiting there, silent and unmoving.
It's described as being gathered up in the gloom, like some gigantic monster ready to spring upon the traveler. Ichabod's blood just runs cold. He tries to sing a church hymn, but his tongue is so dry from fear it just sticks to the roof of his mouth.
So as the figure moves and is silhouetted against the sky, the full horror is revealed. It's a massive horseman, but he has no head on his shoulders. Instead, the head is just resting on the front of his saddle. This is not some local tale anymore. This is the galloping Hessian himself right there, and pure, unadulterated terror takes hold of Ichabod.
What follows is just a desperate, frantic chase. Ichabod is urging poor Gunpowder on, flying through the dark woods. The saddle slips, and he's forced to just cling for dear life to the horse's neck. He has one last hope, the old church bridge. According to the legend, right, that's the one place the ghost cannot cross. It is his only chance at salvation.
He thunders over the planks of the bridge. He made it, but as he glances back, expecting the ghost to just vanish in a puff of smoke or something, he sees the goblin rising up in his stirrups, and the horseman launches his gruesome missile, his own head, directly at Ichabod. There's this tremendous crash, and the schoolmaster is just tumbled headlong into the dust as the dark rider passes by like a whirlwind.
The next morning, Ichabod Crane does not show up for breakfast. The schoolboys all gather at the schoolhouse, but their master is gone. There is absolutely no sign of him.
So an investigation starts. They find Gunpowder just calmly grazing at his master's gate. And down at the bridge, they find the trampled saddle, the tracks of a furious chase, Ichabod's hat, and this crucial final clue. Lying right beside the hat is a single, shattered pumpkin. But of Ichabod Crane himself, not a trace.
So what really happened? Well, two theories pop up, and this is really where the mystery solidifies into a legend. The old country wives, the keepers of all the local lore, they insist he was carried off by the Headless Horseman. Simple as that. But another theory quietly takes hold, one that centers on his rival. You see, Brom Bones, who very quickly marries Katrina, can never hear the story without looking suspiciously smug, and he always bursts into a huge laugh at the mention of the pumpkin.
And that ambiguity right there, that's what makes this tale so timeless. The story never gives you a definitive answer. It leaves us with this lingering mystery, forcing us to weigh superstition against logic, the supernatural against a very, very human prank. And that is precisely why, over 200 years later, the legend of Sleepy Hollow continues to haunt us.